welcome to the Dr. K Show, hosted by Dr. K McKelvey, part of Radio 1240 WCEM-AM. The views and opinions expressed by the show's hosts, callers, and guests are not necessarily the views and opinions of MCS Broadcasting staff and management. Now to the Dr. K Show on Radio 1240 WCEM-AM.
Good morning. Welcome to the Dr. K Show. We are in for a really interesting show today because we have a female veteran, and I want her to say hi to you. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I am great, and hope you are too.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking out in Michigan. Isn't it wonderful? We have been all over the place. We've been, I think this week we've been to D.C., and we've been we've been in Maryland as well this week on the Western Shore, and today we're in Michigan. Stephanie's was enlisted in the Army in November 27th, 1989, and she is a speaker and an author, and she's going to talk to us about post-traumatic stress disorders. And we're going to find out just why she wants to talk about that, and we're going to find out about her book called Battling the Storm Within. Now, in terms of messages, I don't have a new community message today, so I will say hi to some people. I want to say hi to Patsy and Carl in Trinidad. They listen faithfully. And to all my listeners, Arlene and everyone, and especially because Arlene usually answers the Black History question. And of course, I always say hi to Dr. Steve in Hurlock at the Hurlock Drugstore. Make sure that you say hi to him. Remember, he has over 150 products that are only of ours. And he reminds us every day to please take our pills, because I did this I almost forgot them this morning, but I remembered in the end before I left, and have a good day with that. Now, are you ready for the Black History question today? Who invented the traffic signal and gas mask? Who invented traffic signal and gas mask? Now, I don't know if our guest today knows the answer. Don't holler it out. Do you know who did that, Stephanie?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to worry about you telling before. Okay. If you know who invented the gas mask, what African-American man invented the gas mask and the traffic signal, be the first caller to call 410-228-4800. All right, and let us know that you know so that I can tell everybody else that you know too. Now, Stephanie, I can't wait to hear your story. Tell us about what it was like for you in school that made you wanted to go into the armed services, because you gave the impression that you knew that this was the answer to what you wanted to do.
Well, actually, what happened was I was going to school. I went to private school all the way up to high school, and then I went to a community school, junior college, and I went to school for fashion merchandising. And at the time when I was in high school, I met the recruiters there, and they were trying to recruit me into the military. Mm-hmm. And I was 17 years old, and when you're 17, you have to have your parents consent. And my mother was like, "Oh, no, you're not going." And I was like, "Oh, my goodness." I said, I can do that, the way they described it, because I was physically fit. I played sports. I only had 6% body fat. I felt like, how hard could this be? It's physical. You just gotta, it really was I would say a general blanket idea of the military. They came in and talked about all this money they would give you and how you would travel the world, how you can pick any career, and then you can select where you'd be stationed. And at the time, they told me, too, that I could earn my bachelor's degree while I was in the military.
Oh, that does seem like the answers to all of a 17-year-old's question.
So I wanted to be a fashion designer, and then I thought about it. I thought, well, how hard can this be? I've never heard of anything traumatically happening to anyone else that was in the military. Most people that I did know, I didn't know any women veterans, I just figured by now that if they're allowing women in, and there must be a nice little system going on here, and but then I expected everybody to quote unquote operate under the rules and conduct of the Army. So, they have these rules in place. You couldn't flatten an arms. You had to do this. You had to be here. So I thought, oh, I can deal with this. I know the black and white here, and I know exactly, okay, so I could just do what I'm supposed to do, obey orders, show up when I'm supposed to show up, and that'll be it.
All right.
So, well, all right. So my mother said, at least go to school, and I said, fine. So when I was 20 years old, I decided to go on my own. I said, I need to go in here. I need some more money for college, and I wanted to travel the world. I wanted. It just seemed so exciting. I didn't have any money. I was broke, and so I figured on the Uncle Sam's tab, I can do all these things.
Definitely.
So I joined, and I first joined the Air Force. The Air Force is the district force in the Army. There are all the armed forces: the Army, Navy, the Marines, and Navy, and Air Force. Forces, they all have different functioning. So I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. So I signed up for 4 years for a recruiter, but the recruiter didn't tell me the truth. He lied to me. He promised me that I could have certain things. I did great on the ASVAB test, the testing. They have the people, you have really high scores. You can do anything you want. So I said, well, I'll go here in this area. And then I found out the job was that I would just be in the office all day pushing papers, and I was like, that don't sound like fun. And that's not what I thought I was into.
Yes, and you certainly wouldn't keep your 6% body fat sitting at a desk.
No, that wasn't in my personality. I was like, okay. And so what he did was he started yelling at me. He said, you know how many people want to get stuck into the Air Force and how hard it is, and it scores like this. And I said, well, I don't want to sit in the office all day. I don't want to be like a secretary. But he really didn't educate me on the fact that I could have went, like, say, for instance, I wanted to go to school for psychology. I could have actually got trained, specially trained in these areas. He did not educate me on all the, deeper ways I could advance my career. So that's all I really wanted to do was go to school. And actually, I wanted to be a teacher.
Wow, you've changed. You started off wanting to be a fashion designer. And what'd you do? Just like, no, I really don't want to do that?
Well, I really wanted to do it, but I couldn't make any money unless I moved to New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had to move, and I wasn't ready to just move like that and go to the big city. It wasn't my mindset, so it was a door open for me for a scholarship, but I just wasn't ready for that. I didn't really feel safe. I felt like the, government, quote unquote, Army, I would be protected. I would have people looking out for me. That's my mindset was.
Oh, okay.
So I decided to go. I said, well, forget this. I said, I'm going to Army Reserves. I'm going to transfer. And I transferred.
Oh, wow.
Army Reserves, and I didn't have much option there because where I was in Michigan, they had only certain types of units. So it was a transportation unit. I said, oh, wow, that'd be fun. I'd be a driver. You're trained to drive every vehicle in the military, any type of vehicle. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. I said, I'll sign up for that. And then I will be only, quote unquote, what they call a weekend warrior.
All right.
And obviously says you once a weekend, once a month, and you do 2-week training. And plus you get all this money for college.
Oh,
I was like, I can do that. So I enlisted and joined the Florian, and I went to basic training in AIT, actually over in Fort Dix, New Jersey. That base is no longer open and training soldiers over there. So, and I actually had a chance to go to New York and travel on the side of the state where you're at, and I really liked it. And so I ended up getting assigned to my unit back in Michigan, and 5 months later, my unit got activated. And we were sent over to Saudi Arabia.
Whoa, you might have been there with my son, Andre.
Oh, okay.
He was afraid to tell me that he was deployed there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was very unbelievable. It's like surreal. I couldn't believe it, that we were actually going to the desert.
Yeah.
And I didn't sign to me. I didn't even drive a truck yet. So the interesting thing was I felt like I was young, but to time, I was ready to go. And so we got activated over to Desert Storm, and that was the most very difficult time in my life. I was only 20 years old. I didn't know much. Like I said, I wasn't in the military that long. Didn't really know much about the systems. I was just very, I would say, naive.
Okay.
And yeah, when I got over there, it became this real hostile environment. It shifted on me. What happened was when I was over there, I experienced a lot of sexual harassment, sexual assault. What I experienced was military sexual trauma. A lot of people don't know what this is. Military sexual trauma is unwanted advances, sexual coercitiveness. You know, they kind of convince you to do things to get favors.
Oh my
rape.
gosh.
Yeah, I had a friend that was raped over there.
Oh.
It was horrible. Sexual assault, it was great. You know, when you talk about every minute, I call it